It's been a week since Snezhnaya came out, and most of us, including me, have finished the Archon quest, which was peak. We learned a lot near the end, after our encounter with Renova, such as Paimon origin. And so, in today's video, I will talk about that, what we learned, my theory and speculation, about what could have happened, and who Paimon might be. It's been a while since I did a theory speculation video, as I like it inspiration and was focusing more on my lore videos, but with Snezhnaya coming out with new lore, it's all came back to me. So anyway, let's get this started. So, at the end of the Archon quest, we finally learned some truth about Paimon origin. As most of us guess, she's from Celestia, and was created there. Though she has no power at all, and no authority, according to Renova. However, even if that is the case, Renova seemed to really want to bring Paimon with her. I mean, if she had no power at all and no authority, why it is so important to bring her back to Celestia? At least now we know why she targeted Paimon. Thanks to Piero, she was saved. And after a fierce battle, she left with the intention of coming back and taking Paimon. Like she was just a thing that we stole, or something. Then we talked with Piero, who told us that Paimon fell from Celestia way before the Cataclysm, as a response after he used some kind of technology upon the heavens. Piero then kept her in his palace until the Cataclysm. However, Paimon doesn't remember anything before she met us. There is something I found strange though. If Paimon was in Canria, surely Dainslev, Ryan Dornir, and the Traveler's sibling may have known her, or at least met her. Why did they never tell us about this? Did Piero really keep Paimon a secret from everyone in Canria? Also, how did the Shade not find Paimon when they attacked Canria? Or the Archon would join the battle? Did the Archon sense it and knew all along, but they didn't tell us? The biggest question though is how could she have survived and escaped the fate of the people of Canria? Piero didn't really care about her. I don't think he tried to save her at that time. If so, she would still be with him. And then what was she was doing for over 500 years? How can she not remember anything at all? Well, my guess is that Asmoday may be behind this. Something is clear, at least now. Paimon cannot be Asmoday, or a part of her she created to watch over us, the Traveler. Why do I say this? Well, it's simple, really. Asmoday appeared during the Cataclysm, and that's when she met the siblings for the first time. Though she didn't join her side yet, as Paimon arrived in Canria way before that event. Asmoday has no reason to be Paimon, or to create a part of herself at that time, unless she already wanted to switch side by then. But I doubt it. However, I do think Asmoday still had something to do with Paimon. survival. We know that Asmoday liked to collect things, as we saw in the Temple of Space, from every part of Devat history, or even people she judged interesting. What if, like the siblings, Paimon got captured by her, then was hidden somewhere like the Traveler, in a cage inside the Temple of Space? No one except her knew of her existence, which seemed to be the same with us, as no shades seemed to recognize us. Then, as we clearly suspect, Asmoday joined the sibling side during this quest. When the time came for the Traveler to wake up, she awoke Paimon at the same time, so someone could guide us on our journey to find the truth about the Vat. That will explain why the Traveler found Paimon in the water not long after she awoke. As we know, when getting out of the Temple of Space, you lost your memory, which is probably what happened to Paimon. Because we need at least one person to lose their memory to get out of the Temple of Space. During the world quest, that's what happened with Zetling. Zetling sacrificed her memory to let us get out of the Temple of Space. But it required only her memories, and we were the trick to get out of here. So I think what happened is Paimon was a sacrifice this time. He lost his memory to let the Traveler and herself to be able to go to Tevat. And that's why they awoke and she fished her basically near Dolmen Port. So that will explain why the only thing Paimon remembers is the year she spent with the Traveler after we fish her out. And that's why we, the Traveler, still remember what happened before we get in prison. Because Paimon is the one who sacrificed her memories. So yeah, Asmoday may not be Paimon or a creator, but she played a role in Paimon's survival and her meeting with the Travelers. She is the cause of her memory loss, and who knows, maybe she used her to watch over us. That doesn't answer our question about Paimon identity. Well, here are my theories. As I said before, in previous theory videos, Paimon is the fifth shade. The one that represents reason or something similar. The reason why I think there are 5 shades is because of the 5 sinners. If you look at them, each sinner has an attribute equivalent to one of the shades. Blind Dotnir is life, obviously, as she fused with Naberius. Barrier was death, like Ronova. Belfornir is time. Tagology is void, which is similar to space. And then Roptatir, which is reason. So it's safe to assume there are probably 5 shades. As we know, the shades are like the shadow of the heavenly principle, and so are part of them. Reason was maybe the weaker part of themselves, and so they never created it. It probably was a more human, benevolent, and reasonable side of them. And if we believe the heavenly principle is some sort of EI, developing emotion may be a weakness, and not part of his calculation. There's also the fact that Paimon have some similarity with the shade appearance. I mean, when I look at Paimon and the shade, I feel like they look like sisters. Maybe it's just me, but that's what I feel. He then imprisoned this somewhere in Celestia, so it could never be born. However, that changed when Piero interfered. By using his technology to draw something from the heaven, he took that part of the heavenly principle without knowing what it really was. Paimon was like a newborn infant, according to Piero, because Paimon was a newborn shade. By living in Canria, even though she was probably sequestered in Piero Palace, Paimon began to grow up there and learn a lot from humans, such as liking moral truth, of course. If Paimon liked power or authority, it's because she fell into the mortal world and was born there. At some point, however, she may develop some power and authority dormant inside her that she will awaken. And what kind of power could a Shade of Reason have? I believe that's why Ronova wants to bring her back so much, because she is afraid of what Paimon could become. By returning her to Celestia, could prevent that and maintain order over her. Also, maybe she wants to use Paimon to find her missing sister Asmoday. So that's why I think Paimon is a fifth shade that was never supposed to be born, and now could someday become a threat to the heavenly principle. You know, Paimon maybe does not have power, but what if we infuse divine power into her? Like the Genosis. What could happen? Anyway, I believe Paimon may be more important than we think in this chapter. We will learn even more about her in future update, I'm sure. And I really can't wait to see the role she will play. My guess is she may become the new goddess of the new world the Tsaritsa want to create. Or whatever would happen after the defeat of the gods. Because I'm sure the Tsaritsa will succeed. And sadly, Ronova gonna be the first victim of this rebellion. So that's my theory speculation about Paimon. She's a fifth shade, and Asmoday played a role in her survival, memory loss, and meeting with the Traveler. And you guys, what do you think Paimon could be? What are your thoughts about my theory? Please leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of my theory speculation, video about Genshin Impact or the Trail series, and also my lore video about Genshin Impact, The Legend of Zelda, the Trail series, or Final Fantasy XIV. There's also a list of those games soundtrack, if you want to listen to them. Finally, if you're interested in seeing me stream, feel free to check out the Pandragon Gaming channel. Thank you all for watching, and Her Majesty the Tsaritsa watch over you. Grand Dragons offline.